CAT interviews at Uber, Confluent, Indeed, and many more companies. I've seen it all. After countless hours on the other side of the table, I know exactly what top companies are looking for, especially in LLD. In this course, I'll share the insider blueprints, what to focus on, especially key design patterns, how much multi-threading, very important, counter question, traps, and how to tackle them confidently. This course is structured, practical, and tailored on what companies are looking for right now. Let's get you interview ready right now.
Hello. Hi guys, good morning. Welcome back to the video. Ki hal chal? I hope you guys are doing good. In this, we're gonna see the next problem, which is inventory management system. Again, we'll come on to elevator soon. But yeah, let's see inventory management. Again, in the actual schedule, you must have covered inventory elevator itself before. But yeah, let's see this one. So inventory management system. Now, just before we start off, I'll tell you a quick flow of this entire video. Firstly, I'll give you a quick idea of what exactly the inventory management system is. Then we'll go into the actual interview setting, that how you'll communicate, what the interview will tell, and then how you will go on about starting to write the entities and all that good stuff. Then writing the corresponding related design patterns or design challenges, and then going ahead with implementing two of them. We will primarily focus on, in the very beginning, Singleton, factory, and strategy. And then you will start writing corresponding code. I'll also tell you how you can actually build. When I say build, I'll highly recommend, please make sure that you follow the lectures in this sequence itself, because we have covered a lot of things which we will just skim through in the future. Like, when I say a lot of things, I mean the tips and tricks. So I always recommend that don't make the class diagrams. Simply break it down to individual components and try the bottom-up approach. And that's how we'll go about it. And then we'll just write the corresponding implementation for it. Again, the implementation, how we'll go about it, how we'll use different design patterns. We'll go all and all on everything, and also write the corresponding main function in the last. Then we'll go to the extensibility portion, where we'll discuss the next design patterns. We'll discuss observer, how we can actually notify, have the notification system inbuilt, and then we'll use builder, so that, okay, again, like, just to show the extensibility part, because we have used factory and all that in the previous step. Then I'll just show you that how you can extend that with the new product. Then we'll use builder, just so that we can build the complex products. And that's how we will wrap up our entire lecture. Let's go on. Let's start off with the actual, what exactly is the inventory management system. Now, basically, it is entirely, as you can see, inventory is where your entire goods, materials, all that stuff is placed in a warehouse, and that is called as inventory. Both are same. That is being managed. So what does manage means? Manage means just track. Manage as in keep track, or keep a number of it. And also, if you want to update it, add it, remove it. That is kind of managing a stuff. If I say manage some users, you will just simply make a user, add a user, remove a user, update a user, and so on and so forth. All these are the managing operations to it. And obviously, you want to handle multiple products into the inventory, because obviously inventory is, just imagine as a big warehouse. It can have literally a hell lot of products, right? So you will manage multiple products, and you'll also obviously be tracking the corresponding stocks. You will process the orders, incoming orders, and all that stuff as well. And again, you will want to make sure that, because you are managing some stock, you want to make sure that it is replenished and on a timely basis. If, again, because you want to cater customer needs, and customers are primarily, oh, if I get that here, good. If not, then I'll jump onto somewhere else. So you just have to make sure that replenishment is actually happening. This is the idea which I'm giving you for inventory management, right? Now, so ideally, with that idea in mind, we should ideally have or support multiple products, multiple operations of inventory, like add, remove, obviously real-time alerts, and also, let's say, inventory reports. Now, obviously, with that, we will have multiple warehouses. We will add, remove, transfer between the warehouses. Each and every product will have its own attributes. For example, stock keeping unit, say some unique ID, its name, price, quantity, and also I'll just have some stock levels or inventory levels, and I'll just track those. Now, in an actual interview, the interview will just simply mention, please design inventory management. Now, you, from your place, considering you have an idea, as we saw in these 2-3 lines, you have an idea what exactly the inventory management is, right? So you will just simply go and say, okay, again, I have always told that please try to enact the system, that we have been telling in the previous past lectures as well, that enacting the system, what does enacting the system means? Enacting the system means that, okay, imagine that you are the owner of the warehouse. So obviously you will first build the warehouse, right? Then you will add the products to it. Then there will be a customer who will come on and ask for a specific item. Then you will give him that item. The item amount will reduce here. Then as it will keep on reducing, you will get some alert. Then you will update that specific item, and you only want that only you could update that, because if multiple people are updating it, you might actually run into issues that if, let's say, item amount was 5, the person saw, oh, let's say some other owner saw that, okay, oh, this is actually the issue, and he updates that to 6, and then you also saw, okay, it's 5, and you updated to 6. So yeah, you kind of want that the entire and let's say, like, not even this, but even, let's say, a simple, let's say, inventory management. Let's say if it's two occurrences are made and two people are handling it differently, that's also an issue. Like, they should actually handle and cater for just one object. So all that stuff you can just enact it down. Enacting as in just verbally saying the entire process one by one, what exactly would be happening in a system, and then jotting them down as points, as clean, concise points. So basically, my system should handle multiple products across different warehouses, because obviously, let's say I'm a Manis and I can actually cater for different warehouses. So, okay, well and good. I should add, remove, and transfer inventory items from various warehouses. I can track stock levels and I can alert on low inventory. Again, alertion, like, alerting and all that stuff can easily come as the observer design pattern. Now, again, I can also say, I can also ask my interview that, okay, what type of products we are looking for, or do we want some specific configuration to it? Although we will be making the product class itself altogether, but still, just asking the interviewer if he has some other requirements, and just asking him that he having some stock replenishment, strategies. Now, why I'm asking this is because just wanted to know that if the interviewer wants me to focus on replenishment strategy as a strategy design pattern or not. Because again, he might he might want me to focus on, let's say, observer rather than strategy, or maybe rather than factory. So with that in mind, I'll gauge what exactly he's looking for, and then on that thing I'll focus on. Although I'll show you literally everything. I'll show you factory, I'll show you strategy, I'll show you observer, I'll show you Singleton, I'll show you builder, I'll show you everything. But your task is to gauge that what exactly the interview is looking for. Maybe he's more concerned about observer rather than strategy, rather than factory, right? Although, even if, let's say, you cannot get any idea, you can discuss all of them, but implement, let's say, 2 or 3 of them. That's how you will go about it. Again, as I always mention, that time is the biggest currency in an LLD interview. So make sure that you gauge correctly what the interview is looking for. Now, as we were mentioning, that we will have some specific stock replenishment strategies, and again, we can just always, as we mentioned, it's strategies, so we'll use strategies and pattern here. Now, I will I have to make sure that, okay, I have to categorize different products. Just, a simple enum would work here as well. Or I can also ask that, is there any other core requirement? Now, as I always mentioned in the other previous lectures as well, that all the questions you can divide it as, bounded questions, or a unbounded, or a vague open question. So it's a open-ended question where if the interviewer is looking for something very different, he can tell that here, and make sure that you write it down very specifically what he's looking for, so that you can only implement that portion. Because it's good that you know a lot of stuff. It's good that you know a lot of stuff in inventory management. But if the interview is looking for that one thing, now, if you don't write it, your point will decrease by a lot margin. Your task is just to figure out what he's looking for and then implement that at least, and then whatever you know. That's the entire idea of any interview. Cool. Let's go ahead. So that you mentioned that it should support multiple product types in different warehouses, and you should handle inventory additions and removals, and also efficiently notify when the stock levels are low. Okay, so I'll simply implement that portion. Now I'll start off with actually writing again. As I always mention, that you should make sure that whatever interview mentioned, whatever you came up with, make sure that you jot down the final points, what exactly, because again, it might happen that you might say, Aryan, I will do all this, and the interviewer mentioned this. So you might end up doing all this, not necessarily. There will be something which are very important, which the interviewer might say, okay, focus on this first, or let's say let's say what he specifically focuses on, or you can ask him also that what you want me to do first. Like, do you want you can tell him that, okay, I'm about to go like this, that I'll go and write the main entities first, and I'll go to the corresponding design pattern which will be used, and then I'll let the actual implementation, and then we'll go into the extensibility part. This is how you can tell and verbally ask that, okay, what he's looking for, and if you can skip some portions to maybe reach to the end fast and then come back and complete the code. Cool. Let's go ahead. And firstly, as we have been following this standard tradition in all the lectures previously, we'll go ahead and say that, bro, simply for entire inventory management, we'll have products, right? So I'll just simply say product. Now, again, I can have different concrete products. I can have, electronic product or a household product, or let's say, different products I can have, right? So I will have product as an abstract class. Now you might say, Arif, why it is not abstract right here? See, right now I'm just building some basic entities. I'll enhance them as I go ahead in future. So I'll just have simple product that will have its corresponding ID, name, price, quantity, threshold, and its category. Now, obviously, this product will lie inside a warehouse, right? It has to be kept inside a warehouse. So I'll also have a warehouse class. Say, okay, what's the warehouse ID, warehouse name, location, and also what all products are there inside this warehouse. Obviously, this warehouse should be managed by whom? An inventory manager. So inventory manager will actually manage, just track and all that stuff onto a specific warehouse itself. Now, obviously, as we mentioned previously, that we don't want different inventory managers to be there, right? As like different inventory manager class to be made, and just having issues, because we just want one inventory manager. Right? It's kind of very short and simple. Usually you want one source of truth, and that's how I can simply say I can keep that as singleton. So I can just keep inventory manager, which will have its one single instance, and obviously inventory manager will be managing all the warehouses. Inventory manager will help to add the products, make the products and all that stuff. So I can use product factory for it. Again, I'll go on to when I'll discuss the design patterns. Right now, your only task is that putting up the entities. So firstly, we said product. Product will be inside a warehouse. Warehouse will be managed by inventory manager. So this is something which is very easily I was able to figure out. And I just simply wrote it down. Not necessarily complete, but I just wrote it down. Let's go on to the actual design patterns which we can use. Obviously, I recommend that again, there are multiple ways how you can go about in any interview problem. You can start writing the code, you can start writing the class diagrams, all that stuff. But as per my experience, it is very hard, and you will actually be jumbled and will not have a concrete thing written down just to showcase to any hiring committee or something. So always like try to follow a kind of a pattern, or again you can build your own. This is my what I follow, but yeah, it's totally up to you. Whatever you want to build up. Now, obviously, I know that I would be using Singleton for my inventory manager because it will be a single point of control for my all inventory operations. I use factory to make the products because I know it's a warehouse, and warehouse is built up of products. And again, there will be a lot of products, so it's very good that I keep my manager, or let's say a factory pattern, which will help me create all the product whichever I want. So even if in future I want to add any product, I can simply add it. Now again, if the product category becomes more complex, I can make it as abstract factory as well. But yeah, right now you can just verbally tell about an abstract factory you can go about. But yeah, in this case, even if we implement a simple factory, that will be more than enough. Obviously, as we were talking about replenishment strategies, we can obviously use my strategy design pattern, in which I can enable different replenishment strategies. Replenishment is nothing but how you refill or backfill the stocks. So I can switch between different algorithms. Let's say if I want to do a point by point, or let's say product by product update, or product by product replenishment. I want to do a bulk replenishment. I want to do a festive replenishment. There can be different replenishment strategies based on let's say if some product is requiring, oh bro, it is a very high demand product, and it also has a very high margin profit. So I can do the replenishment product by product. Let's say if I have wheat, rice, I can do that as a bulk replenishment, because obviously this is in like everyone use in daily life, and that will be pretty good if I just do a bulk, and I will always get that at a cheaper price. Obviously, in the future you will see about observer as well, which will be very important. And Also, you will see about builder, which as I showed you. Again, I'll discuss this in the bit of end portion, but again, based on what you gauge from the interviewer. Although, as you might ask, Arjun, the interviewer mentioned about observer, so should you implement it? Yes, you should. But again, no worries, I'll tell everything as we go down below. But yeah, we'll discuss about observer here as well, and also builder, just to build the complex product. Now, this I just have mentioned that okay, we can have different product categories. We can have inventory operations. You can have just make corresponding enum just to make things look good. That's it. Cool. Now, before you implement it, people just tend to go and make the corresponding class diagrams. I always highly recommend go in the bottom up approach. Bottom up approach simply mentions that make individual components, whatever you know so far. So if you remember, you know about all. Let's see. Let's write it down. Again, this is very simple. You know about products, right? You also knew that products will be in a warehouse and it will be managed by your inventory manager. This is what you saw in the very beginning. Then you realize that I will have a factory in which I will actually manage all the or create all the products. Then I realize I will have Singleton, where like I will make a single instance of my inventory manager. Then I also realize I will have my strategy. This is for replenishment. So I can have different kind of strategies. So all this, whatever I just showed right now, you can just simply either write it down, which I am expecting that you would have written down earlier, or if you want to show the diagram, you can show it here as well. So what I did here, I just said we have a replenishment strategy. You can have, let's say, just in time strategy, or let's say bulk order strategy, right? Again, another component, or you'll see another box which I have made is for product factory. Product factory has a task for creating a product. But I know my concrete product can be a grocery product, electronic product, or a clothing product. Obviously, every product will be having its own product category, so we can have a corresponding enum as well. Again, enum is just for beauty. If you have time, well and good. If not, then you can skip that as well, because in an actual interview it's very hard to take out time for just these enums and stuff. And again, you're primarily focused on more of a design rather than each and every concrete stuff. Now, what else we have done with factory? Okay, let's write it down. We have done with factory, we are done with product, we have done with the strategy. Obviously, we'll have the warehouse. Okay, we're done with warehouse. Then we'll have our inventory manager. Then we are done with the inventory manager, and that's it. All set. Did you see that? Was there any issue? Like, obviously, you found core entities, you found some design patterns. You just integrate that and build your final design. That's it. Okay, cool, awesome. Let's start off. Firstly, I'll just build my product because that's the main thing. As I mentioned, that product will be an abstract class because I want to build the concrete products. Each product will have its own product category. And again, these getters and setters, don't write in an actual interview. Don't write it. Again, I repeat, don't write it. Even if you want to do it, you can add Lombok extension, Lombok getter and setter annotation if you want, but don't write it down. Either you can just ask the interviewer, can I make it public for just in case, or even if not, then just add Lombok and just go by that route. Again, it is good to show all this. If you want, you can just keep it in the end and go ahead from that. Now, obviously, I will have an enum for product category by saying, okay, can be electronics, clothing, grocery, furniture, or something else. Obviously, you saw that we should be having concrete product, which is electronic product. Again, it will have its own attributes. For example, brand, warranty period. Obviously, warranty period will not be there for any grocery item. They have their expiry time. So obviously, these all attributes will be different from individual product. So I will make sure that I'll call super for any attributes which I want to construct, and rest all I can just simply have some getters and setters. Again, I can have another clothing product which will have its size, color, and so on and so forth. Now, same way for grocery product. Now, you have your individual, product. You have your abstract class product, and then you also had your individual concrete products. But who will make them? I need a factory, so I'll make a factory. So I'll see a product factory, which will help me make the corresponding individual products very easily. Anytime in future I want to add a new product, I can add it here as well. As I mentioned previously, if the factory becomes very complex, we can use abstract factory as well. Now, what about other? Let's move on. Okay, we are done with factory. Let's go on to strategy. So I'll use strategy now for what? For replenishment strategies. So I'll just have a replenishment strategy as an interface, and I will say below replenish, which will simply make sure that this product will be replenished by the corresponding strategy. So again, just taking one of them, you can verbally tell about, let's say, 2 3 strategies, but just write only one down because you don't have time. That's the biggest currency you have right now. So I'll just say just in time. So this just in time, again, for replenish, I just simply written down a simple thing. Although it's kind of that you want to optimize it based on your demand and needs, whatever you have. Same way for bulk order strategy, I'll simply say that replenish based on the bulk order, like order in the large quantities, whatever you want to replenish for. Now, we are done with strategy for replenishment. Let's come on to the inventory manager and use a single design pattern for it. Singleton is pretty easy, as what we have been seeing previously as well in the core design problems. So Singleton will simply say that I will have a corresponding instance, which is private static, and I'll simply say that my constructor will be private. I'll simply be calling a get instance, which will make sure that I initialize my instance only once. And that's how you can, again, you might say, Aaron, is this the only thing inside inventory manager? No, not yet. Inventory manager will have more other things, but right now I just only wanted to show you the actual singleton here for inventory manager. Now, what else? Obviously, inventory manager should be handling a warehouse, but let's complete the warehouse class. So I'll just say my warehouse will handle some products. And for me, in a warehouse, I will add a product, I will remove a product, and again, if I want to view the available products or get the quantity and stuff, I can have these methods as well. So if I want to get the available quantity, I can view the products. I can just add those methods as and what required. But like primarily, again, when you say remove product, you can just have your entire logic at your own place. That like there is no hard and fast rule. Again, you can just check the quantity and just make sure that some business logic happens here. But this is entirely, this is entirely a business logic. There is nothing hard and fast which you have to follow here. This is already is a problem, right? Okay, warehouse is done. Then what? Obviously, let's complete an inventory manager as well. So inventory manager, we previously saw that we have a corresponding instance, we have a private constructor, and then we will have this get instance. What about else? Obviously, inventory manager should handle multiple warehouses. So I'll just make sure that it is handling multiple warehouses. When I say handle, I mean adding or removing those warehouses, right? Inventory manager should also handle the replenishment strategies. Now, you can set the replenishment strategies separately, or what you can do is you can put that as a constructor as well. Putting up in constructor is a much more better practice rather than setting up separately. Again, it's kind of better practice because it helps us in testing and more of code extensibility much more. But yeah, it's kind of what you can tell verbally, and you can also proceed ahead. If you want, you can add it here as well. So whenever you call inventory manager, make sure that you pass in your replenishment strategy. Now, what else? Obviously, you have replenishment strategies. Obviously, we have a product factory, which will help you because again, inventory manager will make products and put those products in the corresponding warehouses. So here, I have some methods which will check and replenish and perform inventory check. So basically, this check and replenish function will say that check for this product or this ID, product ID, and replenish that item. This will say check, like perform inventory check. Inventory check is a like kind of a global check, which will make sure that if any of the item has a very low amount, it will be replenished. So again, replenish will happen based on the replenishment strategy. And but yeah, like again, if you want to link that replenishment strategy to a product, you can do that as well. It's completely fine. Here we have linked the replenishment strategies to an inventory. But again, if you want to link that to a specific product also, that's also completely fine. However you want to go about it, you can put that logic here as well. Now, what we have something else. We have just get product by corresponding ID. Just getting the product. Again, you might say, Aaron, is it good practice to iterate on the entire warehouses, then go on to the product and then find it? I'll say not, but it is again not a DSA problem. It's more of a design problem. So it's completely fine that you iterate on all the warehouses just to find one product. Although I could have made a hash map or a reverse hash map to be more precise, which could have handled this entire scenario. Now, what else? Again, if you feel like something else is missing, you can just add that as well. But yeah, I guess it's completely fine. Now, in the main function, what all you will do? You will firstly make some warehouses. Then you will add those warehouses in your inventory manager, which you have already defined above. Again, it's a singleton, right? Then in your product factory, you will just help initialize some products and then add those into your warehouses already added in your inventory. Now you just set the replenishment strategy and say that, bro, get it just in time. Now you will perform inventory check. This will do a global check, and if it finds that the required amount is less, it will replenish those amounts. And you can set the replenishment strategies to something else as well, and then it will just do a check. Let's say check and replenish for this item on this ID for a product, and then it will replenish as well. So this is how you can go about it. Again, there can be multiple things which you can go and do and write in a actual warehouse inventory manager. There are a lot of stuff which actually happens, but we want to write the functions which the interview requires. If we want something else, we can do that as well. Now, obviously, there was one more thing which was primarily important for interview, which was the inventory alert, or kind of the observer. I mean, whenever alert, notification, all that stuff comes in, we can just simply plug in our observer design pattern. Here we'll have simply inventory observer. Now we can have a supplier notifier or a dashboard alert system. It is simply, just as soon as something happens in the stock or something happens in the product, amount, quantity, we can just give the corresponding notification to anyone who's looking for it. So obviously I will have a simple inventory observer which will say update or notify kind of about this product. So whenever something happens with this product, I can simply notify anyone who's looking for it. So let's have one instance, which is I will have a supplier notify as a class. And here I'll just simply mention that, bro, what are you looking for? So I'll just simply say that bro is having a supplier name and a contact email ID, and his update or notify function will simply check for that product. If it is violating the threshold criteria, then I'll just simply do some business logic here. For business logic, as I always mention, put out something simple as out would simply work. Now, same way, I can have a dashboard alert system. Again, same logic, that just check for the product. If the stock percentage goes below a criteria, then have the criticality of the alert. Let's say it's critical alert. If it goes below 25, if it is below 50 but higher than 25, then it's a warning alert. So again, this is again a business logic. It's totally up to you. Can just simply put a S out as well here as well. But yeah, this is how you can actually update or notify about this product itself. Now, again, whenever I say notify admins, so imagining that it's a dashboard alert system which will have some DL as in email IDs or some admins who wants to be notified about that alert. So I just have stored here, which will be called. That's it. As simple as that. Now, how to use it? Obviously, in my actual inventory manager, I'll simply add the observers who want to observe. Again, it can be a simple dashboard alert system, or a notify supplier can be any observer. Now, the actual notify function, it will simply call the individual observer and will call the corresponding update on the corresponding product. As simple as that. If you want, you can build as a holistic or warehouse as well, which means that in the entire warehouse, it will go into all your products and do all that stuff. Totally up to you how you want to keep the business logic here. So what else? If you want to add any new product in the inventory, okay, obviously you can just integrate that. Let's say if I want to add the furniture product, it's very simple. Just make a furniture product, actual concrete class, and then in your factory, just integrate that. You're good to go. What about if you want to build a complex product? If you know that every product will have its own corresponding attributes, right? Like all these attributes, but not necessarily, again, obviously, let's say if I have electronic items, they're very complex, right? So again, just to, although I don't think so it is a part, or it should be a part of inventory management, but again, it totally depends upon the interviewer, that how exactly he wants to to go about. So again, if it's a complex product, I can use builder just to build that complex product. So what I will do, I'll simply say that, bro, you have some like electronic product builder, which will help you build a corresponding electronic product. Now, again, I can keep a normal generic product builder, and based on different products I have, I can build its own corresponding let's say electronic product builder, or let's say housing builder, because in clothing also there's a very complex design of how a clothing is actually built, right? So what I can do here is I can have a simple abstract class product, as I have been doing previously as well. But right now, instead of designing a simple constructor, I'll use a builder. If you don't know builder, I highly recommend, I'll not teach builder here. For builder, go and make sure that you come, yeah. Make sure that you actually go and study builder from the previous lectures. Again, you can check out the playlist, or you can check out this course as well. Totally up to you how you want to go about it. Now, obviously, for this, as we mentioned previously as well, that we'll have a builder here, but the main fact is the actual builder class. So this we have kept as abstract, because for individual products itself, again, if you're concerned about these generics and stuff, that also we have covered previously in our OOPS properly. So if you come on to OOPS, generics and wildcards, we have already covered here as well. So anything which you see in the lecture which you don't know, if you would have followed it, you would have seen everything would have been covered. If something you think, okay, I'm missing iron, I'm missing this, I'm not able to understand this, just go back and you will get everything. If you're following as a flow for the entire series or the entire course of LLD. Now, coming on back, I'll simply say that any product can have different items which are kind of for every product, that I have kept it as in my builder itself. And again, if you don't know, a builder will have quantity, threshold, and all that returning the same thing. So whatever I have, it will return the same specific stuff. So here we have t, it will be returning a t itself, and then ultimately I'll just call build, which will return the final product, whatever I want. Okay, maybe this might sound, for the folks who are kind of new to Java, this generics kind of stuff might look a bit hard to you. Okay, I'll show you concrete class. So imagine a concrete class will look like this, that I have electronic product and I'll extend the product. This is the same thing which you have been doing. Then you will have your corresponding constructor, which will say, bro, simply I'll call a builder. I accept a builder, and then all the attributes will be filled whatever builder had filled in. So your task is now to fill the builder. What I will do, I'll simply say, okay, this is electronics builder. I will have its constructor, which will be generic, and will have the corresponding generic stuff, which I can pass into my parent as well, because I don't want to perform all these unnecessary tasks. Then I will call methods, warranty period, model number, wireless connectivity, power consumption. It can literally be a hell lot of attributes, right? But you will see all of them returns a builder, 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 builder. Why? Because if I call the build function, then I will get the actual product, whatever I want. And that is my actual electronic product. So this is how it usually go about, that you will call a builder, and then you will call whatever attributes you want. If you don't want wireless connectivity, or let's say if you don't want power consumption, you will remove it, and then you will, let's say, keep it. Let's say if you want HD glass or HD screen, and you don't want any other thing, you can just simply remove that as well, and just simply call the build. With that build, you will finally get the electronic product object. You will get electronic product object. Cool. Again, this is kind of the use case of builder. I highly recommend, please go and watch the builder video specifically for actually going ahead and learning the builder itself. Now, again, that's how we were able to wrap up our entire inventory management system. So just a quick recap. Firstly, we went ahead with finding the main. We enact the system. We saw the entire use case of the inventory management system, and then we build out the main entities. Then we built out the main design patterns. Then we tried to put it at one place. Then we tried to put all the implementation. Then obviously we again these design patterns, we discussed factory, we discussed Singleton, we discussed strategy. Again, then we discussed about observer, which was kind of important as well. And then we discussed about builder as well. Again, you can incorporate other design patterns as well, as I was mentioning. Rather than factory, you can have abstract factory as well if you think the things are more complex. But yeah, I guess that would not be that much required. And yeah, with that said, again, it's already a lot of stuff which you have discussed in the interview, and the person should be good. that is not an issue. So yeah, we discuss op factory, strategy, observer, builder, singleton as well. And that should be more than enough. Although even if you discuss three of them, even two of them, again, number is not required, but whatever the interview is looking for, let's say if he's looking for, let's say, specifically singleton and observer, then it's your task to actually focus on that first and keep others for later. Well, I hope you guys liked it. Make sure that with the like target of 2 clicks. See you next one. Goodbye. Take care. Bye bye.